And good morning from Rock Island Sound. My name is Alan Lighty, and this is the Westchester Children's Museum's page. We're going to talk about the guitar today. Sorry for a little bit of a late start. I had a technical difficulty. So if you have any questions whatsoever, shoot me a message and I will try to answer them for you. And remember, we've got at Rock Island Sound, we teach just about every instrument there is. We have summer classes, individual classes. There's going to be group lessons. There's all kinds of fun, cool stuff that's coming up. So in regards to that. So this is a guitar, and this is what I'm going to talk about. This first lesson is going to be a basic overview of the guitar. So that's kind of a difficult thing to do because unlike most instruments, there are hundreds of types of guitars, whether they're electric guitars, acoustic guitars, 6-string guitars, 7-string guitars, 12 strings. So in my opinion, it's one of the most versatile, cool instruments to play. And there's different ways to play the guitar. You could do finger picking if you wanted to. You could do with a flat pick. So right here, I am wearing thumb pick, which is made out of some kind of plastic material. I've got a metal finger pick. You could use bare fingers. So the musical possibilities are endless. And the other cool thing about the guitar is you can take it pretty much anywhere you want to go. So unlike a piano, they're big and heavy. And a lot of people that play guitar actually think of it as a piano on the go. Now, I'm going to go over today the different aspects of the guitar and the different parts of the guitar. We're going to have lessons through July. Every Thursday, 9:30, I'll be doing a different lesson on a different topic about the guitar. And Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we've got other instructors from Rock On Sound that will be doing like violin, voice. I believe drums is coming up next Wednesday. So let's go over some of the parts for you who don't know anything about the guitar. The top. Okay? Pretty obvious that it's the top, and that's what we call it. It is made of one kind of wood. This particular guitar, it is a spruce top, just like the stringed instruments of the string family. Sorry, yes, spruce. Okay? This is flame maple. So I don't know if you've ever seen a violin, but it's a type of maple wood that looks like it has these lines to it. They call it tiger stripe or flame maple. Every guitar is different. This neck, the neck is what it's called. It's mahogany. This front part here is called the fingerboard because that's where you put your fingers. Okay, so this particular guitar is a 6-string guitar, and the strings are tuned to a certain pitch. They run across this guy right here, which is called the nut. Now, I always wondered, like, why would they call that a nut? But I believe it comes from a German word which means grooves. So it's kind of hard to see, but there's little grooves in this piece of ivory that direct the strings out to these guys, which are the tuning machines. And the tuning machines can come in all different shapes and sizes also. So there is no like one set thing about the guitar. This is the saddle. So your strings are connected back here. On the bridge is this piece of wood. These bridge pins, as they call them, it might be hard to see, but they're little pieces of wood that hold the string so that it can draw across the saddle, they call it. It's like riding on top of a saddle, like a horse. You put a saddle on a horse, spelled the same way. The strings go up here across the nut. So the length of the string and the tension that we put on the string, tension means how tight they are. So the tighter the string, the higher the pitch. And this particular guitar is in standard tuning. So it basically means that your guitar, from the lowest, which is the thickest string, to the highest, which is the first string, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yep, would be the pitch E, A, D, G, B, E. Now, the thing with the guitars, my guitar's tuned to standard tuning, but I could tune it to an open tuning. I could tune it to anything that I really want to play a song, to make it easier. Now, how do we change notes on the guitar? Well, if you can see these little metal guys coming down here, they are called frets. So if you take your finger and push down, you got to push kind of hard, but not too hard, you change the length of the string. So if this is the first string open, and I play at the 3rd fret, you can tell it's a higher note. And every one of these frets is what we call a half step. And that would be the same as if we went on a piano and went from one key to the next key using all the white keys and all the black keys. That would be a chromatic scale. Okay, so I think I've talked enough about the parts of it. So let me just play you something. This is fingerstyle guitar. So you have an independent bass line, like if it was the string section, the bass or the cello would be playing this, and the melody would be played by the violins or the violas. If it was a piano, the bass would be with your left hand, and your right hand would be playing the melody. So this is just one way that you can play guitar. And again, there's infinite possibilities. So it sounds, or it should try to sound, like it's two different instruments. So my thumb is playing a bass line, and my index finger is playing the melody line. Now, every guitar has its own unique sound. And I didn't even talk about electric guitars. You can see behind me, there's a white guitar over there. I'm looking to get the right way. That's an electric guitar. That red one behind me is electric. That's an oud, which is like an early precursor of the guitar. So the possibilities are endless with this instrument. So a question I'd like to ask, if anybody knows or how old they think this guitar is, let me know. Now the sound that you just heard when I was using the finger picks was bright and very distinct. So the sound, if I did the same thing with just bare fingers, not going to sound the same. So hopefully you can hear the difference between those two. Now, the one issue with you use your bare fingers, especially on a big guitar like this, is your fingers will get sore until you build calluses. So it can physically be a little painful, but you'll get used to it, and it just takes time and practice. So as with any musical instrument, you've got to put in the time so that you can play tunes, and that's where the fun is. And you should also look forward to your practice time so that you get excited about it. You know, it's just like for you kids that play sports out there, if you play baseball or basketball, you should be looking forward to practice time so that you can go play the game. Unfortunately, we're not doing that right now, and I hope everybody's wearing a mask. So, different shape, right? This is called a jumbo shape. If I go to this guitar, Okay, you can see that it looks different. The top is still spruce. The basic body designs like bridge, fingerboard, headstock, tuning machines, you can tell there's a slot here. The tuning machines are different. Every guitar is unique, just like every human being is unique. Every guitar is unique. They come in all shapes and sizes, and that's a really cool thing. And every one of them has their own what we call voice. And the voice means how do they sound? What do they sound like? And this guitar will sound different. It's not as big a guitar, so it's not going to sound as big. The bigger the instrument, the body shape, normally the louder, the bigger the sound. Now the back of this guitar is a wood called mahogany, and the sides are mahogany. So mahogany has its own unique sound. Maple has its own unique sound. Rosewood has its own unique sound. And there is no limit to what kind of wood you could use to build a guitar with. There's just certain things that, for certain types of music, probably sounds better. So let's listen to this one for a second. Now this particular guitar right here is 100 years old. 101 years old. This was made in 1919. Now I am using what we call a flat pick or a plectrum. This is what most people use. I shouldn't say most people, but a lot of people use the flat pick. So I'm not sure if you can tell, but it has a distinct sound. It's brighter. The sound is like a little, I guess brighter is the only term we can really use, than the mahogany sound. The mahogany is a richer sound. The mahogany is a brighter sound. The maple is a richer sound. And even richer or deeper in tone colors would be a rosewood guitar. So I'm going to do a little flat pick thing here. So there I was still playing a bass line and strumming along, and when you play like this, it usually will accompany you singing a song. So maybe you've heard the term singer-songwriter, and that's a person who writes their own songs, tunes, and they play them. In other words, they don't write them for somebody else. A lot of singer-songwriters will go through chords to back up their lyrics. So they accompany themselves. The guitar is a great accompaniment instrument, just like the piano, because you can play more than one note at one time. And that is a big deal if you're trying to accompany yourself. If you have a band with you or an orchestra or more players, then that's okay. But nothing against the other instruments, but there are some instruments that if you just played it by yourself, it wouldn't be as much fun or exciting. If you're playing with other people, that's a whole nother deal. So, we've gone over the parts of the guitar. If anybody would know, the guitar was invented back in the 15th century, I believe, and it's gone through lots of transitions. Like these are steel strings, literally made out of metal. Classical guitars, and I don't have one here, their strings would be nylon. They're more like violin strings in a way. And the violin makers, I believe it was in Italy, made the first guitars. And the first guitars really were nothing like the guitars we have today. And the guitars are still developing today. People come up with new ideas, how to make them, how to craft them. They make them individually. There could be places where the wood is cut out here so you can play really high, like electric guitars. And electric guitars are a whole nother ballgame. These These are called acoustic guitars because you do not need electric amplification. But the guitar, once you learn these chord shapes, and it is basically learning a position, a shape with your fingers, and then you memorize it, and you go from one shape to another shape. By doing that, we change the length of the strings, and in changing the length of the string, we change the pitch. Pitch means the frequency of the tone. Is it high? Is it really high? Or is it low? So, I see nobody has asked any questions. If you have any, now would be your chance to ask them. And next week, I believe I'm going over blues guitar. So I'm going to talk all about that style of music and how it's played on the guitar. So if you're interested in learning the instrument, and trust me, it's a great instrument to learn. And as you get older and go through school, it's a great social tool as far as meeting people, commonality with other individuals, getting together, having a good time, having fun. That's one of the most important things about playing music, in my opinion, is you want it to be fun. You want to have a good time. And if you're looking for instructors for the guitar or the trumpet or voice or violin or drums or anything, you come to Rock Island Sound, call them up. I'm sure they can hook you up. We're doing virtual lessons. I believe we're going to start live lessons soon. We've got summer camp programs. There's all kinds of cool, fun stuff that you will learn. And it's a lifetime experience. As a musician, I went to college for music. I learn every day. I learn something about music, about playing. It's just really cool. That's the only thing I can say. I'm trying to think of a way to word it, but it should be fun, and it's a way to be socially interactive, and it's a great way to express yourself. So painting, photography, I mean, those art forms, there's nothing wrong with any of them, but there's just something about live music or playing music or the fact that you're making the sound yourself. It's very, very rewarding. Okay? So if there are no questions, which I have seen none come up so far, then I think we're off tomorrow, Friday, but Monday through Thursday, 9:30 every morning, we've got, I'm pretty sure I've got it correct, but it's violin, string instruments, then vocal stuff with Rachel, who's awesome. Everybody's awesome at Rock Island Sound. And then I believe it's trumpet and percussion. And then Thursdays, it's myself. So don't be afraid to reach out and listen. Support the Westchester Children's Museum. They are a great place. I'd like to thank them for putting on these morning musical events. I mean, we can't go out and do the stuff that we want to do, so why not take advantage of the fact that we can do really cool stuff over the internet and just have a good time and to learn. And I can assure you that learning music and learning a musical instrument will help you as far as learning anything you want to do in life. It just moves over to that realm. Some of the greatest minds have played musical instruments. So with that, I'm looking at my time here. I will play you a little tune just to get us out of here. This will be what we call ragtime. So most people think of ragtime as piano music, but you can play it on the guitar too. This is a Blind Blake song. that shows you it almost felt like dancing there. That's the kind of music that is. So again, I'd like to thank Westchester Children's Museum, Rock Island Sound. Give us a shout out if you have any questions about anything. We're here to help you. So have a wonderful day. Please stay safe, okay? Wear your mask, do everything you're supposed to do, all right? And we will get through this. Take care.